afternoon, Cedarfield family. Happy Friday to you, December 18th at 3 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in here live. And again, thank you to all of you who are listening tonight, taking time out of your Friday evening to listen to some very brief information regarding our Evolving Preparedness Plan. I will be very brief, hopefully less than 15 minutes here today. Format for today is threefold. One, I have information about our current situation, our dashboard. Secondly, just a couple facts about the vaccine and an update about timing of when Cedarfield expects to receive the vaccine. And then if anyone has any questions, certainly feel free to text at this number and we can answer any and all of residents, team members' questions that are out there today. First, the current situation. There are a large number of people who really love a summary of the 7-day positivity rates around the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth of Virginia, the 7-day positivity rate is 11.3. That's up from 11.0 on Wednesday. Central Virginia really spiked here in the last 48 hours. We were at 12.5 on Wednesday, and Central Virginia is now at 13.3. Henrico County has gone through an increase from an 8.9 to 9.2 from Wednesday, so it's a slight increase of 0.3 7-day positivity rate. Richmond went up 0.5% from 7.4 from 6.9, and Chesterfield also has experienced an increase to 10.6, up from 10.3 on Wednesday. So everything is continuing to rise. At Cedarfield, I'll start with the health center. We have 3 neighborhoods in the health center, north, central, and south. The dashboard for the health center at this point is completely green for all 3 neighborhoods, whether we're talking about residents and or team members. So that's good news up in the health center. The residents and the families have been very patient, tolerant, and have been really partners with us in our shared values. So again, thank you to all the families that are out there. We appreciate your help and all of your efforts. Thank you to the team up there. There's a lot going on in the health center to keep this virus out of the health center. And so just want everyone to know that the team is working very diligently, crossing T's and dotting I's with our preparedness plan to keep this virus out as best they can. So health center is green, which is great news. Assisted living is also in the green category for both residents and team members. So that's great news. Again, the team is just really working very hard to look at the evolving preparedness plan and making sure that we are, again, crossing T's, dotting I's. I call it getting back to basics here in the last week and next week. I don't want us to take for granted the fact that we are in this green dashboard and everyone just relaxing because everything's been green here for the last 2 weeks. So the neighborhoods in the licensed side and the team that works predominantly around independent living, we've been asking ourselves throughout the week, and we'll continue to do so next week, what about the evolving preparedness plan basics? Do we got all the basics covered, and do we need to do any re-education? Sunshine Plaza, our memory support area, is also green for team members and residents. There are no positive cases. The last case did cycle off middle of the week here, and so that whole area is green for both residents and team members. And in the main building with residents and team members, the dashboard is green, and the cottages for residents and team members that work in and around the cottages, that dashboard is also green. We have one team member who's cycling off this person's quarantining period and should be back to work on Monday, so that's just great news. So keep up the great work. It's a really important weekend to really make sure that you do have your T's and I's crossed, including myself. We're all in this together. When we have this rush to get things done and go shopping and get things for things that we need for this particular holiday week that's coming up, just please pay extra careful diligence with our shared preparedness plan and our values. Even little things like, I know when I was out shopping the other night at 8:30 at night, when there was less people around Short Pump, I would bring with me a little vial with a spray bottle on it that had hand sanitizer. And if I had to open any store door, because I touched the handle on that door, I made sure that I washed my hands pretty quickly. So just that type of thing, I think, would behoove all of you, anyone really, to as we have a really busy weekend ahead of us, and a lot of people are going to be out and about trying to finish up shopping, etc. So please be careful. We're doing a great job. Let's keep it up and get through this next 2 weeks with the same type of report that we've been experiencing here for the last 3 weeks. A couple things on the vaccine. Matt Dameron, our Associate Executive Director, or I have not heard any information from Walgreens about the timing of when they'll be here on site. We do have a very large campus, and so our discussions with Walgreens, they likely will break up their visit with us into like 2 or 3 different visits because we are so large, depending upon the number of volunteers that they have at Walgreens to distribute the vaccine. And so I'm hopeful, this is just me, they have not given me any indication of this, but I am hopeful that we will receive a call next week at some point. I'm going to consider it my Christmas present, that I get a call from Walgreens before Christmas, and they will actually give me the date of when they'll be here at Cedarfield. So send your positive energy that way, and let's all hope that we can get that date before Friday of next week. They have not given us any indication of when they will be here. But a big thank you to the residents and the team members of Cedarfield for handing in your vaccine administration record, which our deadline was noon today. So that's great. Matt Dameron or I are able to give Walgreens a very accurate count as of this very second of how many vaccines we will need. So again, thank you everyone. My word of caution, this is just a caution section of today's live chat. There are people that live or work at Cedarfield who don't want to get the vaccine for a variety of reasons. And I just want to caution everybody that those folks have a right not to get it. We're not mandating it. In fact, most nursing homes, retirement communities and assisted living communities, even hospitals, are not mandating that folks get the vaccine, whether you live or work in one of these places. So we are, and Cedarfield is no different, we're not mandating it. So folks that aren't getting the vaccine, let's respect their privacy and HIPAA around their decision and not create, there is propensity to create, not here at Cedarfield, but I have heard many stories in Henrico County where there is a lot of negative energy at different sites because people know who the people are that are not getting the vaccine, and those folks are not getting fair treatment. And so I hope we don't go down that path at Cedarfield. In fact, I know we won't. We're better than that. But if you hear any of that negativity, can you just snuff it out, please? And let's respect folks' privacy and rules around HIPAA. And so that would be great. Renee's giving me a little sign here that says, please don't call Walgreens. Walgreens, so that's a really good point. Walgreens, here up on the corner of any Walgreens really, any retail site is not really responsible for the rollout of the vaccine. And so if you were to connect to the pharmacy at one of these retail sites and ask them for an update of when we're coming to Cedarfield, they would not be able to answer your question because Walgreens is in the middle of creating this distribution process, and it really is not linked. Our vaccines that we will be getting here at Cedarfield are not linked to any one particular retail site. And Walgreens has a contract with the CDC, and they work in concert together to roll this out with the healthcare providers separate from the retail sites. So we would respectfully ask residents and team members that are watching, please don't call Walgreens and ask them for an update. A couple of frequently asked questions that have come into the administration suite. One is, if I am out of town, can I have a makeup date for the vaccine? And as I know it right now, Walgreens will be out to Cedarfield at a very specific time, and that will be our shot collectively as an entity in the eyes of Walgreens to distribute that vaccine. I am not quite sure how the vaccine would be made available to the general public, which I guess somebody could access it that way, so I'm not quite sure of that process. But here at Cedarfield, there won't be any makeup dates. When they tell us the dates, those are the dates. A couple of questions came in since seems there's a second approval through the FDA. Walgreens is still using the Pfizer vaccine, and so when Walgreens comes to Cedarfield, that's the vaccine that will be administered here. Second question, there was a little bit of a rumor, actually specific to Cedarfield, that we don't have to get a second shot because they're coming out so soon, and the first shot is the only shot that you need. That rumor is, I'm squashing that rumor right here. It's right now at the live chat. The Pfizer vaccine does require 2 doses, 21 days apart. So Walgreens will come back to Cedarfield to administer the second dose, 21 days after their first visit. Just want two particular notes from our medical director. The Pfizer vaccine co-medical director, Dr. Varanian and Dr. Shear wanted me to share that the Pfizer vaccine is exceptionally safe and effective. They will be here on Monday to talk a little bit more about the vaccine. Secondly, anyone cannot get infected by COVID-19 from getting the vaccine. That is a widely misunderstood piece of information, and again, that is a gossip squasher right now. You cannot get COVID-19 by getting this vaccine. And again, the whole goal of this vaccine is to rev up your immune system. And Dr. Varanian and Dr. Shear are going to go a little bit more technical into the vaccine itself, the RNA technology that's within this vaccine here next week, so that you can hear it from the clinicians of the community. So, other than that, I don't believe I have any other, yes, I was just going to get to that. Any other, do we have any other COVID-19 vaccine type of questions for anybody? Please text them to this number. In the meantime, while we're waiting for text to come in, I did find out what is that black tarp that's in the hallway for? Why do we have that black tarp? That was a big question on Wednesday's live chat. So we are on the main building here on the 4th floor and the 3rd floor, right in the middle of the building, the main entrance. We're going through a little bit of a rehab on the walls themselves. They have 24-year-old wallpaper, and so we are removing that wallpaper and getting the walls freshened up for a nice clean coat of paint. And so our contractor, rather than taking the hallways offline completely, we asked them to work in little sections so that we can keep the hallways open for residents. It's a month-long project, which will take us through the end of January to finish the walls right here in the front of the building, and then we will install carpet there shortly after, in the beginning of February. Any other questions around COVID-19? I see no questions coming in from our texts. Short, sweet, 20 minutes. I'll see you on Monday. One specific message to any D-Wing residents. We set up a conference call for tonight at 6 o'clock for anyone that lives in the D-Wing. If that's a hardship for you, please call down to my number at 804-474-8850, or you can certainly feel free to call this number you see. If you can't make that conference call tonight, I can review the information with you here late afternoon. We will have another live chat on Monday at 3 o'clock. Hopefully we'll have some good news to share at that time. If I don't see you throughout the rest of the day, have a great Friday evening. Rest well. Be vigilant with our shared values over the weekend. One other just little quick note. Vitamin B, C, and D, zinc, and elderberry is a good recipe to boost our immune system. So if you don't have vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B in your medicine cabinet, maybe that might be a good stop at the supermarket this weekend. Those vitamins are definitely great vitamins to boost your immunity. Not just for COVID, but we're heading here, it's very cold, and other diseases are out there to boost your immunity system. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to call the administration suite. We'll answer any and all of your questions just as soon as we can. Management is around throughout the weekend, so if there is any particular issues, we do have managers, directors scheduled throughout Saturday and Sunday to handle issues that may pop up. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll talk with you on Monday. Thank you for listening.